What's up, guys? It's Aeneas, and I'm gonna take you guys on a step-by-step process through my journey to becoming an area manager at Amazon. First things first, I found the job posting on Indeed. I found the job posting on Indeed. It was around February 2021. I applied. I definitely didn't think I would get the job because it was a manager position, and it said college hire, but I still was kind of skeptical. I didn't think I would get it just because it was a manager position, and I had no previous work experience managing people. I've had experience managing people in different organizations, but as far as managing people in the workforce, I've never did that before. So I was like, I'm not gonna get this job, but I still applied though, and luckily I got the job. But yeah, I applied in February. It took a while for me to hear back from Amazon. I think I didn't hear back. I didn't get an email back from them until March. So I applied in February. I think it was probably like mid to late. It was probably like around the 20th or somewhere in February. I applied, and then I want to say like 3 weeks later, I got the email back from them saying, "Hey, we're interested in you. Interested in furthering our conversation for the role of area manager. Please email us back your availability and stuff like that." Did that, set up a interview with them, and then once that gets all set up, you're gonna do it through a Chime link, Amazon Chime. It's gonna be a virtual call. I think when I did the call, I had about 4 or 5 other people on the call with me. We was all in the main room. We all introduced ourselves, and then we was talking to a representative from Amazon, and he basically just let us know what was gonna happen and just told us, don't be nervous, you're here for a reason. If we weren't interested in you, if we didn't think you were fit for the job, you wouldn't even have got the opportunity to be where you're at now. And he definitely, just by saying those little words that he said, he definitely calmed my nerves down a lot. Because I will say, when I came into the interview, I was really nervous. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm not gonna get this. I'm too underqualified to do this. I'm not fit for this. All these people are this and that, and then here's me. I'm like, they made a mistake. But no, basically just calm us down. Just say you're here for a reason. Be confident in yourself, and that's really what I needed, to just calm myself down and get my mind right, so I could sell myself to these people. In an interview, that's what you're doing. You're selling yourself, and you want to sell yourself as good as possible. And you can't do that if you're nervous, because your mind's going to be in 1,000 different places at one time. You're going to be thinking about this, and you're going to try to think about that. You're not going to be able to focus on what you need to say and what you need to do right in that moment. So big kudos to the guy. I forget his name, but big kudos to that guy, because he really did help me out a lot. But during the interview process, I was in the room with them for about 30 minutes, all just introducing ourselves. And then we had to wait for the people that we were going to interview with to get on. But they didn't get on that call. They sent us 2 different links, 2 different room ID numbers that we had to go to. So after that, I go into the separate room with my first interview was with an operations manager. And that's the level above. That's an L6, the level L6 or L7. That's the level above the L5 area manager, and I interviewed with him. And then my second interview was with a L4 area manager, I believe. And during those interviews, I connected with them both on a personal level. It was real good. We had real good conversations. Just really good at it, and it just made me feel welcome. Both of those interviews I did, they made me feel welcome. They made me feel like I belonged here, and I could just see myself here long term. So after that initial interview, those 2 initial interviews, they tell you, okay, in 2 to 3 weeks, you'll hear from us. We're either going to tell you that you got the job, or we're going to tell you that you didn't get the job. So in 2 to 3 weeks, you're going to hear back from somebody regardless. So like what's going on. But during my process, I waited 3 weeks. I'm like, yo, I didn't hear it back from anybody. So I'm like, okay. So the next day I reached out, I shot them an email like, hey, it's Aeneas. I had an interview on such and such date. I'm just following up with you guys, letting you know I didn't get any feedback or any, response, so I can know where I stand. And I sent them that email. And then the next day, after I sent that email, somebody from Amazon, and I don't even think it was the next day. It was probably like 2 days after that. 2 days after that, somebody from Amazon sent me an email like, hey, yeah, your hiring manager will be in touch with you shortly. Our apologies. And then later that day, I got the letter, congratulations, you've been hired as an area manager at Amazon. Great news. I got that letter, and they said no further action is needed. And I think like 2 weeks from this date, you will get your offer letter. And in your offer letter, you'll know what site you're at, you'll know your salary, your benefits, all those type of things. And then as far as site location and picking site location, you get to pick. That's the cool thing about it. So with me, you can either pick by what preference you want. You either want to preference by site or location, or you want to preference by your start date. You can't pick both. Like, you can't say, I want to go here and I want to start around this date. Or, you got to say either I want to go here or I want to start around this date. You can't pick both. So I did mine by location because, I don't know, I just feel like location, where I'm at is definitely important to me. I don't care when I start really, but I definitely want to be in a good location. One of my top locations that I want to be at. And I'm in the Southeast region, so the locations I had to choose from were Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, Mississippi, and Kentucky. So I had 6 locations that I had to choose from, or I got to choose from. That's not in the order I chose, but I will say I did get my first choice of location. So picking the location that I did want definitely worked out in my favor a lot. But yeah, I did that. Then I think like 2 weeks after I did that and submitted that, I got the offer letter. And I got the offer letter. I got the offer letter a little bit late too. It was like a week later than what they said, but all in all, I still got it. But it was a week later than what they said. Excuse me. And basically in the offer letter, they tell you your location, your salary, the benefits, what you need to do if you qualify for the moving assistance. Because if you have to move over a certain amount of miles away from your location that you had on the application, they'll give you money to assist you in moving. And that money that they give you definitely helps out a lot. So big shout out to Amazon for that, because that money definitely helps out a lot, and it helps out a lot. But yeah, I got my offer letter in like May. So just for a time frame, I applied in February and I got my offer letter in May. But some people, that's a long process. But some people's process doesn't take that long. Some people's process takes 1 month. Like they apply, do their interview, get their congratulations, you got a job, and they get their offer letter all in the same month. Just for me, it was spaced out. I guess they were backed up. Well, they told me they were backed up. I don't know why. I forget what they said, but they were backed up around the time that I was going through my whole process. But yeah, I got my start date and then too, and that's the crazy thing too. My start date, I got the offer letter in May, and my start date wasn't until August. So I'm like, wow, I got a lot of time to kill until my start date. But I ended up moving down to where I'm at now, to the city where I'm at, in July, just so I could have a good amount of time to get acclimated to the city. Just learn my way around a new city, just meet new people, those type of things. And I will say it definitely did help out a lot, because I'm more familiar with the city. I'm more comfortable, where I'm at now. and I'm glad I did it the way I did it. But August 2nd, my first day that I go to the fulfillment center. I don't think I'm gonna do it this video because it's already 10 minutes long. I just wanted to tell you guys what to expect if you're thinking about applying for a role within Amazon. Just the process. Just because everybody's process is gonna be different, but I just wanted to tell you guys what you can expect, how long the process is gonna be. My next video will probably be talking about the first week of training. And that first week of training was a lot to cover. So if you just got hired to Amazon and you're worried about the first week of training, stay tuned, watch the next video. Because I would definitely be going over tips that you need to know going into that first week of training, and big key points that you need to write down in that training. So stay tuned, guys. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and don't forget to leave a comment if you have any questions, and definitely hit that like button for me. Thank you. Peace.